Welcome back, everyone, to another Virtual Railroader Academy in December. That's two this month. My God. As always, I'm your host, Professor Casey.
And I'm Professor Nick, and we appreciate you joining us for Railroaders Play Railroader.
Yes, this month, it is Passenger Trains 210-2. That's right, the second section of our Passenger Trains lecture. See what I did there, Nick?
I did see what you did there.
It's
That
both the
that is.
second section of the course and the second section of our train.
Oh,
Ah,
I thought you were going for the meme locomotive number thing.
no, I was going for the section number. No, the locomotive number is, in fact, a meme. We have 611 here.
Oh, I thought you were going for 2102, the
Oh,
red inky
oh,
one.
oh, God, I did. I didn't even realize that. Layers of memes here, folks. That's why you
Glad
join
that
us, right?
yes, you came for the layer cake, and we're here to deliver that sweet goodness.
But we're doing passenger trains again. It's kind of dumb foggy out and making the FPS terrible with that frame lag stuff. Let's take care of that.
I mean, it's atmospheric. I dig it from it being atmospheric.
Yeah,
My computer will probably
my
thank
computer
you.
doesn't dig it. I got
No,
myself a
not
new
mine.
computer for Christmas. Um, Brand new tower, nice 3080. And it is still chugging with this game. So hopefully we see some improvement soon. Maybe once those jeeps get out of render distance, we'll get some better frames.
There's a reason that they call this the FPS Express.
They really do. Um, but we should you want to take control here off the start with our wonderful 611 here and pull us up to the station. And we'll get our passengers loading and talk about what we're doing today, aside from running a passenger train.
So we are a scheduled train, that is correct.
We
Going
are
over the whole shebang shaboom.
the whole shebang shaboom. I got it pulled up here on my old machine. And for those of us following along at home, it's question mark E or exclamation mark ETT in the chat. And the bot should pull that up and give you a link to our timetable, the new timetable number 1 here on the AM and W, and you can follow along with what we're going to try to be doing all this time. But we are running as I got to look at this because I don't have this memorized. That's why it's written down. We're train 101 from Andrews to Silva. It's the opposing train to the flyer. I'm trying to look more at that screen so that way I can talk about it. My kitten is climbing in front of it and doing a stanky leg. You could bring it to a stop anywhere in here. Spotted nice in front of the station. And oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, are we going to make some bank from this train.
They don't call this Thomas the bank engine for nothing.
Ow.
I mean, it's a short passenger engine. The Atlantics are squishy, tiny little things. Maybe not so squishy, but they are, as far as passenger power concerned, kind of small. Even the modern ones, like this one.
They are a squishy little tiny thing. It's a well proportioned little engine. I think this is their first time like getting to like screw around with the Atlantic in one of our streams. I don't think we've used this before.
Yes.
But
The
it's a
only
nice little model.
do we have a counterpart that we're going to be meeting
We
across our
do,
route?
theoretically, trying out a new mod that someone made tonight. Was playing with it earlier. It was working fine. Did some small multiplayer testing with it.
And it
But it's a passenger train mod that allows the AI to run a passenger train and stop at every station. So theoretically, we have a counterpart. It is train 98 out of Silva, and we should be meeting it in I'm looking at my timetable to see where we meet it.
Probably, I'm guessing
I
somewhere
think
around
McCain.
Bison or Whittier.
I think we're meeting it in McCain.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is that. Now we depart here at 45, and hopefully that means we'll have a green signal by the time we get up to that end.
But as always, hello, El Canary. Glad that you could join us. And hello to Midland as well. But Midland is actually with us. With
Somewhere.
us. He's with us, not just in spirit and not just in the chat, but he's also with us as one of the crew, doing
Yeah.
somewhere and something. Yes.
He's I think we'll probably end up passing him at some point tonight too. He's running the coal train. He wanted his EBT experience.
Ah, that's a good way to get it.
It is. I started a single player save, and I accidentally created the East Broadtop. I'm running double-headed Mikados, um, pulling pulling coal drags. So yeah, no, I'm accidentally cosplaying the East Broadtop in my single player save. But we are here tonight for more passenger trains. It's always a fun topic. The channel subscribers are out there running two of the other passenger trains on the railroad. So we will be seeing them as well throughout the course of through some parts of the evening. And it's going to be a grand old time. I'm in a passenger train mood because of all of the legally distinct North Pole Express. And forgive me, I caught the legally distinct North Pole Express flu. So I am scratchy and under the
later.
weather. Yeah, this is my first day like conscious and not sleeping all day since Sunday. It has not been a good time.
It doesn't.
But we're here, we're streaming. It's going to be fun.
Good. Yes.
And I got 1 minute to departure.
Okay. Do you? I don't know if I got a copy of the paperwork. Could you do me the favor of DMing me that? Just so
Yes.
that I have
See,
it.
you know, this
I
is
mean,
the beauty of having a whole second computer. If little Lily over here will stop climbing over my hand as I try and do that, gonna have to
because
set up
that
a cat camera one of these days. Oh, nope, she heard a noise. She's gone. All right, I got 44. The time check is an important thing. If we had analog clocks, Nick and I probably should have compared our watches ahead of time, but we have the beauty of the internet and the digital clock, so we don't need to do that.
if I was being real true to form, I would dig out my Illinois pocket watch.
Ooh, I don't have a pocket watch. All right, highball, 45. All right, in your DMs.
Thank you.
Oh no.
We have a problem.
Yeah, we do.
I don't know why we have that problem.
Railroader EXE stopped working. That was the problem.
Oh, okay. Okay. That would explain it. I'm like,
That would explain it. All right. Well,
oh, yep, disconnected. Gotcha.
gonna
Okay.
gonna be right back, folks. Stand by. Hey, we're
Nope.
back. How about that?
We are. And now I know that all will be right in the world because I was pulling the throttle back and nothing was moving.
Yeah, no, the whistle just went off and we were fine. But you know what? It's 7:48. We can make up the time. It's fine.
Yep, because what is this railroad fueled by?
Hopes and dreams.
I was going for optimism, but yep, same
Also,
ballpark.
also, it's the same meaning.
It is. It is.
Well, let's see. So 7:45. Roto at 7:57. I think we may still be able to get that.
We will put the pedal down, which is definitely not engineer speak.
We just we just passed someone's body on the ground. I don't know if that was desync.
That was me.
Okay.
Um,
I don't wanna. I'm gonna.
oh, you're gonna do a little bit of
I need a.
the old
I
picture
need a
taken.
thumbnail. Cause like I always end up forgetting to take thumbnails during these. Then I have to go back in and like recreate part of the stream to take a thumbnail. Sorry guys, behind the scenes information here.
Yes. Uh,
Super secret. We left 3 minutes late. If we can 57. If we can arrive at 59, we stand half a chance of making up time.
so, sorry to destroy your immersion, Mr. Evanloo, or Mrs.
Well, I'm going to sit down in a chair. Oh, oh no,
Oh no, indeed.
something's breaking. And there it goes again. Well, this is the most problems we've ever had with this game.
Yeah, not usually this rough.
No, alright, well, we'll be right back, folks. Take 3. Technical difficulties
Okay.
fun. Well, our schedule's completely out the window at this point. We may be able to make it up by the end. Let's try it. Sorry about that, folks. Technical difficulties. Something that wasn't a mod that wasn't giving us a hard time earlier started giving us a hard time now. So, what are you gonna do? We disabled it. We move forward.
But we are going to use the spirit of optimism to make up. What are we down 9 minutes?
10.
We're gonna make up 10 minutes.
We're not gonna make it 10 minutes. We're going to try and run consistently 10 minutes down though.
I could go for that.
So instead of arriving at 57, that's 07. We should be getting in at 07.
Yes, the ICC concluded their investigation 67.
I'm scared of what they found.
But until they deliver the report, we will just take it at the face value of whatever it is. One more time with feeling, you got it. That's what we're going to do. So, as always, we encourage you to submit your questions, comments, and join in the conversation in the chat.
I've getting back into things. I've been in a passenger train mood. I've gone. Oh, I forgot to count the number of trips. Of the 213 trips to the North Pole we've done this year.
Oof.
Um,
That's a lot of hot chocolate.
That is a lot of hot chocolate. I get hot chocolate every time, and I forget. Like they bring you hot chocolate, call it a care package, and then I just forget to drink it. That's like they bring you hot chocolate right as you're about to have like a meet and then an immediate departure, and then like you have 12 minutes to do a run that's gonna take 15. And by the time I remember I have hot chocolate, it's now iced hot chocolate.
Oof.
Let's see, I've done 8. I've only done 16 trips to the North Pole, all things aside.
Have you tried firing the steam locomotive with the cookies yet?
I had to try firing the steam locomotive with the cookies?
I'm told those cookies burn at incredibly hot temperatures.
Oh.
So they might work really well
Okay, so
in place of actual coal.
You know what? That explains why when I chucked in the cookies at the end of the night, the engine clearly lifted over the night after I put the bank in. That explains it perfectly.
Exactly.
I'm gonna blame the cookies for that one.
You can do that because I have it on good authority from another polar believer of an operation that they might have experimented by putting cookies in the microwave for 40 minutes and those cookies did not disintegrate.
Well, our cookies are homemade at our railroad. I'm fairly certain in our kitchen car.
Oh, okay. So yours aren't like
we do not
prepackaged.
No, because we are legally distinct North Pole Express.
Oh, interesting. Okay, gotcha. So then, yeah, you have different cookies. I'm talking about the not legally distinct polar.
Yes, no, actual polar. You know, I heard those cookies are terrible.
Yes. Those are the cookies that don't melt in the microwave for 40 minutes. Or don't, like, fall apart after 40 minutes.
Well, if anyone out there works on Steam and has those cookies, do please report in. I am curious.
have we maybe found the solution to torrefied biomass in the form of polar cookies?
I want it not on the subject of passenger trains at all, but I so badly want torrefied biomass to be a thing. Like, I was so excited for that project. I know England's had some small success with it, but like, damn it, I want that. I want that to be a thing. It's a cool concept. It's a good concept, and it gives us a better long-term solution than burn oil.
Yeah, I think it's going to need to be. Um, it was interesting in my conversation on the Roundhouse podcast last month with Zach McGinnis, the excursion manager for the actual 611.
Hmm.
Um, and I asked him about the fuel question, and you very good interview. He had provided a lot of insight to how they were running the excursions this year out of Goshen, Virginia. He said that they're not contemplating at this point because the locomotive is only run at certain opportunities. So to go through the whole process of turning it into an oil burner, which it was not designed to be, and figuring out the engineering on that is not cost effective at this time.
Yeah, it's a lot of money to spend to research, and then you got to add all the flexi stays. It's a whole ordeal.
So it's great as one who got to experience it this summer that they can make that work. But I think even smaller, quote unquote, smaller in the sense of not running every single weekend operations, eventually that pinch point is going to come, and hopefully we find a solution to be able to keep coal burners burning something akin to coal.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for subscribing, Al Canary.
Oh, Look, thanks for the sub. Much appreciated. My cat's playing with a ball next. It's adorable. I'm sorry. I have a kitten. I have a kitten. She was a street cat in Baltimore. We adopted her this June. So this is like her first time indoors. It's her first Christmas. And we have this
Aww.
bucket of, like, I don't know, it's called like a bucket of snowballs, and it's just like giant soft like cotton balls that like kind of look like a snowball. And it was
Mhm.
on our table. It was knocked over 2 weeks ago. And the cats have been playing with the snowballs out of it, so we can't clean it up. We're legally obligated as cat parents to leave it out. And she just came running in with a snowball bigger than her head, hanging out of her mouth, and just batted it out of the room. It's very distracting. But there's so much research that has, like, I don't want to be like, no, like, coal is best fuel. But, like, I enjoy firing coal. I want a environmentally friendly solution for that to stick around, because I think that's an important part of being able to tell the story of how this work was done. Was the hand bombing, the solid fuel, what a stoker does.
And my response whenever people get into the coal debate, because it's not my opinion, it is somebody else's, is that I was on a bud car trip on the Reading and Northern, and our engineer was Andy Muller, the owner of the Reading and Northern. The Reading and Northern, for context, for those who aren't familiar with it, is a Class 2 short line in eastern Pennsylvania that still hauls anthracite amongst other products. And Andy Muller, longtime president of the Reading and Northern, said that coal is going away. So whenever people bring it up, I always go back to what he said, because he is the president of a railroad that hauls it. It is not in his interest to say the sky is falling if it is not. So if he believes coaling is going away, I'm going to trust an expert.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's a
it will
sad
be,
reality.
yeah. So hopefully it will be interesting to see where the conversation around biomass and similar alternatives moves within the next few years. because I think it's going to continue to become a larger part of the conversation,
So do I. I
as it
hope
needs.
the I hope the coalition spins back up. Right now they're busy with their side project. You may have heard of them. The Coalition for Sustainable Rail was looking into this. They spun up a side project called FMW Solutions. Maybe you've heard of them. Um, so hopefully they reconvene and start doing some stuff again. I know they consulted with the British organization that was doing some testing over there, successful testing over there. So hopefully there's a solution to be had there. It's a good use for otherwise waste material. Are we pulling into our stop?
We are coming up to Roto.
Hey,
We're about to arrive, Mr. Roto.
we arrived 2 minutes early.
Oh, I'd like to take a moment and say I thought that was a pretty good pun.
I didn't get that one.
Mr. Roto, we've arrived.
No, I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, I was going for a Lord of the Rings kind of thing. You know,
Oh,
Roto, Frodo.
oh, I get it now. That one's a little bit of a stretch,
I know. Just like I'm stretch breaking this train.
which is it's hard to do in this game.
It is.
What's
But I
up?
think I
Good
got.
stop.
I'll take it.
Alright,
Yes,
check our
M.
train.
Keeb 458. They're kind of the test case for us, I feel, since coal is basically impossible to acquire there. Yep,
Yeah.
very true. A lot of their coal is Russian, I'm led to believe.
All right. We've got no pickups, no drop-offs. Eyeball.
Looks like I'm staring at a yellow signal, so that could mean something interesting ahead.
Ooh.
But yay for
I think we're following a couple of trains.
oh, that could be why. Including the FPS Express, that's right, of
Yeah.
course.
I don't know who you are. Bye.
So, yeah, I suppose my passenger story, scheduled passenger story of recent is the experiencing the 611 trips out of Goshen, because they were running 2 trips per day. So there was something of a timetable in the sense that they had a schedule to keep to be able to make the second trip of the day, plus being able to coordinate meets with Amtrak's Cardinal, as well as another passenger train that was running from Stanton east. Another excursion train run by the same company. And that was quite an operation. I learned so much about what it takes to put a mainline steam excursion together with my conversation with Zach. Like the amount of engineering it takes to make sure that this locomotive that was designed to run on the Norfolk and Western main lines can run on a Chesapeake and Ohio main line. So that was interesting. Especially there was a bridge that we had to slow down for at one point in the middle of the trip because there was a clearance of 4 inches when between the cab and the side of the bridge. And taking things into account and small details like that, it's incredible how much has to be thought through to be able to make these things happen.
Oh. The side of the bridge. 4 inches.
4-inch clearance. Yeah, that was a 10-mile-an-hour speed restriction
I
through
was
that.
expecting you to say 4 inches between like the cab roof and the top of the bridge, not the side
No,
of the
this was
bridge.
a side girder bridge. So it was just the amount of that the cab swings out from the gauge.
Oh,
Yep.
that's
So that's the thing.
insane.
It's like, yes, the CNO had their own 484s, but they were different specs, different builders. So you can't just go, well, they had a 484. This is a 484.
I'm gonna butcher this name. Kilinardo?
Clinardo, I think it
Clinardo?
is.
Clinardo? 4 inches per side or total?
4 inches per side was my understanding. So
That's
as
still
the cab's
tight.
swinging out, you've got 4 inches between the cab, the side of the cab that's swinging out, which it was
So this is a
uh
curved bridge.
curved bridge, yeah, curved girder bridge, about halfway through the trip. So being able to account for things like that and checking, so you figure you've got to check the weight uh, restriction of every single bridge, any trackside items that might have clearance issues, posts, signs, anything like that. All of the high rail inspections that you got to do. And especially the logistics too of the fact that they could turn the steam locomotive and run it the other way. But even if they could, the whole operation hinged on basically the station was in this stub end siding, so they'd back the train out, and then 611 would pull it to Stanton, and then on the return trip, the diesels would pull it 95% of the way, and then the steam engine would pull it into the siding. Like all sorts of logistical challenges that they had to account for, all while keeping some form of schedule. And that schedule is accounting for passenger, that especially that layover between trips where you have passengers getting off and passengers getting on, the traffic that creates in and out of a parking lot, all of these small details that add up. That's an excursion is a big thing comprised of so many small details that have gone into making it work. When can you do your servicing? When can you dump your ash? All of these very small things that accumulate.
I'm just so dumbfounded by the bridge still. I'm sorry.
No, the
Um,
bridge was an impressive thing.
but
That was the thing that stood out because I was like, why are we slowing down in the middle of this main line? And that's how I learned about it, is because riding along in the tool car, which, yes, uh, riding
that's an
along in the tool car
experience.
behind 611. There, I did a short video of that. So if you look up the Roundhouse podcast episode about the experience, I did a short video, which you can watch on that. I'm also on Instagram now. Hashtag shameless self promotion.
We're
At
gonna
Nick Ozrak.
we're gonna also shameless plug the Discord here because every time Nick posts a short, it ends up in the content notify over in the VRA Discord, and you can watch those
Oh, perfect.
as they drop.
So yes, the shorts are a lot of fun to do. So the 611 one, I got plenty of footage from riding inside the baggage car, tool car right behind the locomotive. So you get to see what 40 miles an hour looks like. You get to see the cinders that coat my arm at the end of the trip. So it was riding on there that I got to ask these questions about why is this way, why is that way, kind of thing. Especially because the tool car, you realize, speaking of details, you see all of these hoses and extra glad hands and tools everywhere and cookies. And speaking of cookies, but these were actual, well, there was a combination of snacks and homemade cookies and store-bought cookies. But I mean, the tool car is like, it's a hangout, but it's also possibly the most important piece of the train, in the sense that if something breaks down, you need a way to fix it, and there's your tools right behind your locomotive.
Tool car is an important piece. I don't even remember what question we were on. Someone asked a question that got us here.
I have to rewind in the chat to find out. Oh, is the schedule as important for tourist passenger services as it is for regular passenger services. Why or why not?
Oh, yes, 100%. What time does the 11 o'clock train leave? 11 o'clock. Though, during Christmas it's 11:05, but don't tell the public that. Shh. You guys didn't hear that secret. Um, oh, look at that. We're doing pretty damn good with our time. Jesus, that was coming in hot into that siding.
Was it? I thought that siding was good for 25.
It
It
it did
isn't?
not it did not look it from my point of view.
Oh, it's all a matter of perspective, I guess.
Ah, yeah, good point. No, schedule's very important. 'Cause if you don't have the schedule, then um, I guess if you're just one thing out there, the schedule's not that important. Um, but like with my operation, where there's the dinner train, there's the stuff that happened out on the railroad that passengers can get off and go to. The schedule's important because if you don't have the schedule, there's no um reason to try and like there's no time to try and stick to. So schedule's important. I think it is. If you're a little railroad and you're the only thing out there going back and forth, you probably don't need a timetable like we have here on the AM and W. All right. And remind me to get to that question right below Midlands once we're done with the station stop.
Will do. Let's see. How we can
Do we
at the moment.
have? Yep, that's everyone. All right. Uh, eyeball. All right. So we have Ibon. Is that how you say that? A cup of hot chocolate while sitting on the driver's seat looking out of the window does sound like a vibe. Um, it is kind of a vibe to be. Tell me we can't start on this hill.
No, we're good.
Okay.
I just didn't realize how much power I'd have to put down initially. I'm at full power. I didn't
Okay.
realize I would need to be at full power.
Okay. Little worried there.
Your worry was founded, but we're good.
Are there any sittable seats in here? There are. So on this side of the train. Uh, it is a vibe. There's something fun about hustling along at a considerable rate of speed. Really, there's no. Those are terrible seats in that car. And I'm trapped in a bathroom, and just going with your coffee in your hand, head out the window, just moving along. Um, there were a lot of times this Christmas season where it was um, hustling time. Do a 3-minute mile, and I'd flip the brim of my hat up like the guys who brought me up running and firing would do when it was time for them to run track speed, and hang my head out the window and just laser in on what was going on and be able to take sips of my coffee as you go. It's absolutely a vibe. Which does bring us to Midland's question. On the note of Christmas trains, what has been your most memorable Christmas train experience at any railroad? I'll let you take this one first, and then I'll share mine.
Ooh, okay. This one is a very easy one for me if we're going to count trolleys as trains.
Totally fair.
Okay, so if we're counting trolleys as trains, the Pennsylvania Trolley Museum, every Black Friday growing up was the day that my dad and I would go down to the Pennsylvania Trolley Museum and we would ride their Santa trolley, where you got on the trolley, you rode out to their loop while singing Christmas carols, Santa would get on the trolley, he'd hand out candy canes, more singing, caroling. That was a defining element of Christmas for me growing up. And definitely a factor in why the place holds an important uh, element of nostalgia, and why I ultimately became a very irregular volunteer there. Only because I'm super far away. Otherwise, I would be a very normally regular volunteer there.
Oh, I gotta do a thing to help you come down this hill. See, I'm not
Are,
following
are
my
you
own.
set,
I'm
are you
gonna
setting handbrakes?
I'm gonna set 2 retainers.
Okay, appreciate it. Yeah, because I can dance it otherwise, but the retainers will be appreciated. Growing up, I didn't appreciate retainers. I had braces and retainers.
Okay. But we may only need one.
Yeah, that one, actually, I'm going to have to pull against that one, I think.
Here we go. Yeah, no, I just got one set.
Okay. I don't mind pulling against one, but yeah. So that is mine.
Hot tip for you guys out there: descending down Red Marble grade. If you got a freight train, 15 cars or more, set 2 handbrakes coming down the hill. It'll keep you nice and maintained, and you can take those small sets. Apparently, passenger train, just 1 handbrake.
And
Hot
even
tip
there,
for
I'm
you.
pulling against it.
And accelerating rapidly.
Yep. Yeah.
Um, Mine was this year.
There we go.
Um, I finally got to run in thick, dense fog.
Ooh.
I'm talking um, less than 50 feet of visibility. On a timetable, 3 other trains out on the railroad, and you're having meets with trains. Um, but you have the radio. You know they're clear, but you good railroader. You visually make sure they're clear coming in, and coming in and being like, don't see anything, don't see anything, don't see anything. All right, switch line for the hole. Sweet, here we go. And like coming in like that and seeing a headlight appear out of the fog. Um, Not be able to see any, um, um, not be able to see any crossings like at all until you're 50 feet away from them. Um, and the lights come on for the crossings in the distance, and it's just little red lights flashing in the distance. Um, it was one of the coolest experiences I've had. And it was very much like in the zone. I'm an engineer, I know what I'm doing, and just kind of like not tunnel visioned in, but locked in on what I was doing. And it was very much hand on the throttle, hand on the brake, checking my time, checking my watch, checking my timetable, and going like, okay, cool, no, like I'm on time, we're good, and trusting that everyone else was going to be on time. So that way so that way when you arrived at the correct time, they were on time. And it was the coolest thing I've ever done. And when like the story of like the hero engineer, not Casey Jones, but like the hero engineer story, the OP or stories, Nick. Getting to live one of those stories, I don't think I'm ever gonna top that.
Well, you've told me I need to check it out, and I do. Um, actually, hmm, I just
I'm
realized.
I'm not there, but you can definitely go foaming.
Hmm.
I will give you the foaming. I will give you the Railfans Guide cheat sheet
Oh,
for
that
where you need to be and when if you do go.
actually, that reminds me of
Let me know.
something. But yeah, yeah, I will actually probably take you up on that sooner than you think. Um, so yes, the word that you used in there that I was thinking in my head before you even said it was trust.
Hmm.
Because from what I've seen, the to make, and I haven't seen the full blown poll or whatnot, but um, even during your regular operating season, you require a huge team to be able to pull off as coordinated an operation as you have. You could do it with less people, but you could not run it as tightly with less people.
No, it definitely takes it takes the circus to make it happen.
Should I be getting coal here?
Nah, you're good.
Okay, should I be getting water here?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, but that's after the station anyway, so. Alright.
Yeah. Alright. I'll let you know when your markers are through the block. In case anything else is coming at us first.
Exactly, McKeeb. The whole thing ticking in units.
That mod's here.
Hmm?
Oh, my friend made a mod for Nexus Mods and put marker lights on the back of these coaches.
Oh, nice.
Half a car. Anywhere in there will do. I don't see anyone for Nadahela on this train.
But did we pick up some folk?
We did pick up some folk. Alright.
Alright.
May head to the tower. Yes. Railroader does have mods already. So for stuff like this, you can do lettering color, base color for your text. Base color doesn't do anything yet, but I know the person's working on trying to get that to be your jacketing color.
Ooh.
Someone did a mod that corrected the tender levels on the Casey Jones engine, and a mod to put marker lights on the back of the palace cars. And there's a mod that lets the AI run your passenger trains for you. But multiplayer is kind of sketchy. It was working earlier when I was testing it out with only one person having it, but once we had more than like 3 people, it started breaking. So, eh. A couple of those are up on Nexus Mod. One of those is up. Someone made a Reddit post about it, and that's how I saw it. Right, hopefully we don't need too much water. We're out of here at 22. It's already 27.
And
We can get
22
out.
is
22 is our departure time. So, we can get out of here less than 10 minutes late. We're doing pretty good. I'd say we could skip this one if there was a water stop at Almond. All right, and far enough. Oh, 5 feet.
5 feet which way?
Ahead. Keep going. And nope, a little more. Stop.
Knowing me and knowing my tendency to run out of water, I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Well, the last time we did this, I did say, hey, we don't need to get water. We'll be fine. And we were in fact not fine. So, I'm going to say we should get water.
It's good to be safe on that particular front. And yes, checking the schedule. Um,
We're late, but we're not
but
doing too bad.
well, and remember, there's that whole 10 window buffer. The fact that we were down 10 anyway. So
Hmm.
really, we're only down 7 at the moment.
We are. If
So
we were down more than 10, we need to start Rule 99ing and pitching fusees off the back of the train. Which are what fusees are actually for in this time period. If you're more than, hey, we're full. Eyeball. If you're more than 10 minutes late, 10 minutes off your time, you pitch a fusee out, and that lets the train following you know they're 10 minutes late, that you're 10 minutes late. They need a they see that fusee, they slow down to restricted speed until they get to the next station, and then they can resume track speed.
interesting. Midland, staying on the Christmas side of things, what are the pros and cons of doing a licensed Christmas event, i.e. Polar, versus doing a homegrown event, i.e. North Pole Express? Oh, that's a
Oh, I'm
really
not
good
the
question.
person to ask for that. That's business questions, and I don't know those.
And
I imagine it's how much money you get to. I know Polar Express takes a percentage. So you can have the name brand and all the support that comes with it, or you can do homegrown and get to keep 100% of the money. Dealer's choice.
and I think the key word you use there is support. I'm not been involved enough directly in Polar to be able to attest to firsthand experience on that. I know a lot of different railroads have a lot of different opinions on Polar, um, whether it be doing their own unlicensing or doing the Polar. So I think, yeah, it's a real case by case kind of scenario, because I imagine that despite the license cut, there has to be something in it that's worth it for the number of entities that do use that version of it.
Yeah. I just don't know. Excuse me.
Yeah. Um,
I had to sneeze and it went away mid-sentence. I hate that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't
and
know
that's gonna,
what makes it better or worse.
and I mean, that's gonna, an interesting one. It's the kind of thing that'd be interesting to talk about on the podcast, but it's also one of those things that, because you're starting to get into how sausage is made, that railroads can be a little reluctant to get into those kinds of details on the record. So that's why
Yeah,
it can be a hard thing to get a real clear answer on, because even those who don't do the licensed version aren't necessarily going to want to ballad mouth. I know it's the Harpers, but that rail events, is it?
relevant.
Yeah, rail events. People aren't going to want to publicly badmouth them, even if they do have negative opinions there, or even if they're not negative but could be perceived as being negative.
It's all the Durango and Silverton.
Yes, it's all the Harpers. You have to, the key, but I have to admit, watching 491 march into the station to the actual music from the film was pretty magical. I didn't go myself, but Heist testing his new camera was a treat to watch.
That was a cool clip.
Yes. Yeah, and honestly, doing Polar on a loop seems like the way to do Polar. Like, if you're gonna run to be able to be literally going around in circles, does seem like a good way to do it, because we need a little bit more time. Okay, we'll do one more loop. It seems like they've timed it to 3 pretty well, having edited his last year video on watching the full thing. But it does give you flexibility that when you're running point to point, you either go a little slower or.
It is so hard. If you're a small child watching right now who, I need you to go ahead and stop watching, because
Earmuff the kids.
I'm about to ruin the magic of Christmas.
No.
Okay, this is spoiler warnings, ruining
Oh,
the
I'm
magic
nervous
of
for my
Christmas.
Christmas spirit.
And okay, so we have 6 Santa Clauses, 2 per train. When we have 2 trains meeting at the North Pole, the train returning to the North Pole and the train waiting in the North Pole to head out, while the third train is over in the main station waiting to head to the North Pole. There are 4 Santas in within 20 car lengths of each other. All of the Santas need to um, finish a specific number of cars. Or the Santas waiting in the North Pole need to finish a specific number of cars and then duck away and hide before the train returning to the North Pole comes in, and those Santas need to be completely done with their cars. You need to get half a mile out 5 minutes before your arrival time, so that way you can slow down to a walking speed and crawl into the station and do half a mile in 5 minutes. So that way Santas can finish up their cars. Usually they have about a car left to go by the time you hit that mile, by the time you hit the half-mile out mark. And that's
Wait,
also that way the kids on each train don't go, hey, wait a second, why is Santa over there on that other train? And wait, we just saw Santa at the back of that train that we just passed. Why is he also at the front of that train that we just passed?
wait. So when you say Santa has to hide, I mean the image that comes to mind is this: you slow down and he jumps off into a bush.
No, we have vestibule door. The windows in the vestibules are taped over, and some in the hiding in the cars that are like designated hiding spots where Santa will always have to hide that he can
Ah,
just duck into.
so now I'm picturing Santa just hiding behind a door.
Yep, that's exactly what's happening.
Oh,
So now that I ruined the magic of Christmas, everyone else can take your earmuffs off and come back. But that's the balancing act with trying to keep with having a linear railroad is moving at a pace that way the big guy can see all of the good little boys and girls. Um, but also not have the whole schedule blow apart. And if the schedule blows apart, it is 99% of the time the big guy's fault, or rather his minder who's not nudging him along to see the next family fast enough.
because Santa has to engage every child and be like, what do you want for Christmas and so forth, so that there's enough social interaction so that he's not just waving hello, but not so much that he's like getting into stories about how he got stranded in Antarctica in 1987.
Yeah, that was a really bad winter.
I mean, it was, or the origin of Donner's name.
The past or the reindeer?
The reindeer.
Similar history to how the past got its name?
Let's hope not.
Okay.
It's actually, in all seriousness, apparently a Germanic thing. Like it originally was Donder.
Huh.
Was the deer's name? I don't ask me the specifics beyond that. I just know that it's not actually connected to Donner Pack. Although we could pretend, if we want to keep it family friendly, since we've spoiled Santa, we could keep it family friendly by saying that Santa named Donner after the pass, because wouldn't name their reindeer after an impressive feat by the Southern Pacific Railroad, or Central Pacific, but later Southern Pacific.
Which was named after people eating each other.
We'll ignore that part. So, Bastion's Lair. How do the railroads across the pond solve the conundrum of day out with Thomas in terms of having a working tank that looks vaguely British, like Thomas, etc. At the Severn Valley, we have too many pre-grouping and big four tanks. And there too, I think it varies on a case-by-case basis. I mean, some do have licensed ones. Interestingly, the Neen Valley has the Thomas, which is to say a tank engine that looks like Thomas, that I don't think they have to pay the usual licensing rights for, because the Reverend Audrey christened that Thomas, and so there's a long-standing agreement there where that Thomas gets to do his thing without paying royalty fees. Allegedly. Complete side tangent, Neen Valley Railroad is awesome, and a lot of James Bond movies have been filmed there. We'll find a way to tie that in more eloquently in the future, but I just had to mention that. Back to Thomas. There too, I think it depends on if the train has a face, if the face looks close enough to the face of an actual Thomas character, the likeness. That's my kind of general knowledge of it. Beyond that, I don't have enough of an understanding of the inner workings of different organizations to say specifics there, but that is my loose understanding of how that works there.
Yeah, and I know Mattel has the US rights. I don't know if they have the international rights for licensing the event.
I think Mattel owns Thomas Period.
Thomas
But you're right, because I think there too, Rail Events is the license. Rail Events handles the Day Out with Thomas in the U.S.
Yeah, who licenses it abroad?
Right.
And is it
you're
a
right.
Day Out with Thomas abroad? Do they call it by a different name? Is it legally distinct? Thomas the Tank Engine visits your railroad?
Those are good questions that I do not have exact answers
I don't know.
for.
As a total tangent, okay. No. Hang
Kyle,
on. This just
Clenardo
in
knows.
from Phone a Friend. Mattel owns the license rights for Day Out with Thomas worldwide.
Yes, I know who Clenardo is now, and Clenardo would have reason to know that. So yes.
Oh, you'll have to tell me who they are later.
Yes, Clenardo is correct. You don't even buy Days Out with Thomas tickets from the host railroad anymore. Passengers purchase tickets from Mattel, then are honored as passes at the host railroad. Fascinating. That is very interesting.
Huh. See, I stopped doing Day Out with Thomas events once my railroad stopped getting the real Thomas. I had no interest in it. Because getting to fire BETT 15 was too much fun. And once it became a fog machine and a dumpster on a freight car truck, I was like, I don't need to be here. So yeah, I don't know what it's like anymore doing those events. How are we doing on time? We're supposed to be here at 37:42. Hey, we're only down 5 minutes. We've made up more time.
See, this optimism that fuels this railroad is going to put us into Silva on time.
I did try to make a slightly more forgiving timetable.
Acela 2163, Japan also has a bunch of Days Out with Thomas events, and those are also Mattel. Japan's are off the hook. Like, I've seen photos of Japanese Thomas and Japanese James, and there's even a Japanese Birdie. I am all in on the Japanese Day Out with Thomas.
Clenardo, yeah, it was. I think we realized we saved like $15,000 if we didn't get 15, and it was coming from less than an hour away by road.
So I'm modeling Greenfield Village in HO scale, aka the Henry Ford Museum, which is one of, actually at this point, to my knowledge, the only place that is getting the 15 regularly outside of Strasbourg.
Well, it lives there.
Right. Yes, it lives at Strasbourg, but the only place it travels to these days appears to be the Henry Ford Museum. So someday I'm going to be able to buy a Bachmann Thomas model and say I have a prototypical reason to run Thomas the Tank Engine on my train layout.
No, you can't get a Thomas. You need to get a porter.
Oh yes, a porter that I
N-
retrofit. Yes, that
yes,
is. And the sad thing is, I might go to those lengths. I think there are people who have 3D designed that, so I need to figure that
I
out.
think there's someone hanging out in the other chat who has done that.
Mm,
Um,
we'll need to
per
talk
also
about
phone
that.
a friend, who is in on the business workings of my railroad. For the price of the live Steam Thomas, you can get both a dummy and Percy.
Interesting. And I know some places do get the Percy as well.
And I do have someone to introduce you to be able to get a BEDT 15 Thomas 3D printed. You just need to supply the body or the running gear.
Oh, I can do that. I can make that happen.
So
Because
I'll have to make an introduction after this for you.
please, bonus points if I can put DCC in Thomas and make him speak in Spanish.
Ooh, are we
Oh,
browning the train a little bit here?
oh, I forgot that was. No, we're not browning the train. No, it's in good shape, and we're making up time. That's what we're doing.
Kenosha just started playing on my end.
Strange. I didn't hear anything.
Oh, okay, that was. Hang on. Sorry, just had a really cool railroader moment. If watching the stream, the car is rocking side to side. It like
Oh
things just
yes.
started swaying really nice, and to look down like this like the train tunnel of all the cars and see everything moving slightly slightly unsyncopated was very cool.
No, I'm looking at the stream now and seeing what you're saying. Good call on that. Uh, Bastion's Lair, very controversial sore spot in the UK heritage scene. Mattel have been very flip-floppy with how they handle the events. Mattel went back on legacy agreements with the Bluebell, Dorset, Somerset, and North Yorkshire Moors. Very strained. Only the big heritage boys do them these days as the licensing piece of the silly and stuff. I do wonder what Thomas's future is going to look like, because now that they've gone through the rebranding and really aimed it at an even younger demographic than it was arguably aimed at before, I and essentially Thomas is even more cartoony because he's now a literal cartoon. I wonder how many people are going to watch the cartoon and say, I want to, kids are going to watch that and say, I want to see the real Thomas, when the real Thomas, even the rolling dumpsters, the dummy units, do not look like the cartoon. I mean, they're blue, they're small, but it's a drastic change as opposed to the CGI Thomas looking very similar to the dummy Thomases. And I do wonder if that has a long-term effect. Compounding what you said there, Bastions.
I don't know. I'll be curious to see how well it lasts. I know it's kind of dying. Um, on a slightly topical related note to Thomas, um, the Thomas strips are a specific length. Um, and if you play Alice's Restaurant, that is the same length as a Thomas strip. So you can use that to keep time.
Wouldn't you get very quickly sick of Arlo Guthrie by that point?
I am already very sick of Arlo Guthrie. Um, also just in that we're getting insider texts right now from a friend from my railroad who's hanging out in the other chat. They updated the voice on the voice box to the voice from the New Kids show.
Okay. Well, that probably
So
helps it
it's
to have
already
some
updated.
familiarity. Hmm. Yes, I'm trying not to be old man yells at cloud because they changed the show. I mean, there is that part of me, but that's not the point. Part of me is just genuinely wondering when the what realism was initially depicted continues to ebb away to this extent that it just doesn't feel like they're real trains anymore. Do kids look at that and say, I want to see the real thing of that? And That's a. We'll have to survey test that with 4-year-olds. Okay, Timmy, tell us. Does the real Thomas feel like the what you saw on Netflix?
That's a beautiful stop, Nick.
Thank you. I've been practicing. And that means
We arrived here 1 minute after our departure time.
lovely.
And we're all loaded up.
Which means we are actually legit making up time. I told you it was worth getting creative around that curve.
30 miles an hour around a 15-mile-an-hour curve.
No, that wasn't 15. That was 30. I was doing 35 into 30. That's not too bad. No, I think if I was doing 30 into 15, this game would have informed us of that.
Yeah.
I think I would have had to get out and push.
We would have browned. Are the cars doing the dance again? Kind of.
And I'm happy with how this adventure is going so far.
Knock wood. We made up time. Making up time is an important part of your schedule. Of knowing there's usually some room built in for you to be late at some station stops and stuff like that. But if another train arrives late, you're hosed, and knowing how to make up time effectively is important. And it's quick accelerations are important. Stopping really late is important. So come flying in, take your set super late, and have what like to affectionately call the transit stop, where it's you hit the platform with you're in notch 8 and you have a full service set on the brakes, and you hit the platform, you shut off the throttle, and you stop in a 7-car train. You stop in the length of a 7-car train. Transit stop. And it's a nice smooth deceleration. It's a perfectly valid way of doing it. So being able to do those little tricks, knowing okay, like timetable speed for here is this, but really the tracks are they're class 3, so they're good for 45 miles an hour, so I can do this. So knowing those things are what allows you to make up time. If the tracks are class 3, your lights are going to be, your signal lights for crossing gates are going to be set for class 3 standards. So if you're if your timetable speed is 20 miles an hour, but your lights come on as if you're doing 45 miles an hour, well, you can fudge your speed a little bit and make up time. Knowing what's legal to do with your locomotive, is it required to have a speedometer? Are you allowed? You don't have a speedometer. Are you allowed to go more than 20 miles an hour over a crossing because you don't have a speedometer? Yes or no? So knowing those things is what allows you to cheat your speed and make up time.
I'm getting reassurances from the comments section that kids do not notice the difference, and I'm honestly happy about that. I can put my curmudgeonliness aside to be happy that Thomas is still, even in his cartoon form, an ambassador of railroading.
Kids don't notice when there's a real steam engine. Neither do parents.
That's also true.
Alright, I'm looking for a new good seat to sit. I wish there were better seats to sit down in these cars. There's only like 2 seats in each car that let you lean out of the window. I'm being curmudgeon-y right now. I want to be a rail fan, damn it. I want a conductor seat.
I had my turn, and now you have yours.
I know you're making up time beautifully. Now the key is to don't make up too much time. You can't come in early. Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot. I forgot there was more junk pile stuff stored out here.
I was wondering why we were coming up on these random coaches.
It's the eternal problem of where do you put the junk?
Just like a tourist railroad.
Just like any railroad. Where do I put the out of service crap?
Uh,
And that's the out of service crap.
Looking forward to when we come up on our meet with our counterpart.
I
Is that?
don't. We should have had it already. So I don't know if the counterpart is running,
Oh,
which
well,
is
okay.
sad.
Since the counterpart may not be coming, then I will say it now. I noticed that the counterpart was being pulled by a Pacific.
Yes.
So upon the two meeting, I was going to say, from Atlantic to Pacific, gee, the traffic is terrific.
God damn it.
That I am going to retire off of that joke alone.
Oh my god. That's. Oh.
I mean, it is true from Atlantic to Pacific, and we're moving at a good rate of speed, so you can say the traffic is terrific.
Yep.
And it is seasonal.
I don't like that. I love like that. That's actually a bad. Like it's good, but that's actually bad.
uh, I do what I must. Somebody must.
Uh, Acela 2163. If you're UP, you can shove the out of service crap onto the IRM interchange and call it a donation.
uh, I gotta get out to IRM again someday.
I had
Yeah,
a hell of a good time for Showcase Weekend. There's a good chance I'm going back next year.
yeah, I'd really like to be able to. Hopefully this year I'll have an opportunity to do so.
It's a good time. Did you see their updated plan that they released for the property for
I
all
did
the new
not.
track stuff? Oh, I'll have to send it to you afterwards. Roundhouse, a street running scene, extending the trolley loop. Very impressive.
I've I have heard of them doing the sort of main street facade thing for the especially their trolleys and urbans, which I think is exciting. And honestly, given how much of an urban that I am, I really do need to get out there for that reason alone. Yeah, so many hoppers. That is true. Although I don't think the hoppers are actual donation. I think that is car storage. But that's still revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Are you making any money off of those passenger cars we passed?
No,
Oh,
no. Those are,
too bad.
I believe those are costing our dispatcher hair off the top of his head about not about having a passing track taken up. Ooh, there's a bridge here.
Yeah, that's a nice addition.
Oh my god, that's the spot. Oh, but the culling. Call that pier.
Oh, oops.
Oh, that's a cool. That's a cool scene right there. All right, thank
We are bang on time. I'm digging this.
I was looking forward to like getting some fast running in when I take over in Bryson. Um, but I don't think I'm gonna get that.
Sorry.
You made up all the time.
This is a good schedule, as opposed to last time where we were doing a perfect job and we were still having issues. The other thing that's helping, and I don't know if it's just our luck or good fortune, we have not had a single meet yet.
That is, the timetable is designed where you do have meets with other people. Um, they talked about doing the community night stuff and opening up raffles in our VRA Discord server to be able to bring people in. Maybe that's what we do with them. You come in, we put you on the passenger trains.
Yes.
Or all the scheduled stuff.
You heard it here you heard it here first, folks. You too can become a passenger locomotive. Oh, yeah, this requires my radio announcer voice. Are you looking for an improved quality of life? Then sign up to become a passenger locomotive engineer on the Soken Mohonkin Western. Apply at your local station today.
That's maybe that's what we do with community night is raffle off. How many schedules do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Between with the fast freight and the fast mail, there are 6 scheduled trains a night. So we could absolutely raffle off 6 spots for people to come in and try and run the schedule. I think that's the way to do it.
I dig it.
That seems like the right move there. Which, people have been asking a lot about community night stuff. We do we'll be doing events with the channel subscribers, and it's a perk of subscribing. And if you can't subscribe, that's fine. It's nice when people can, and we appreciate it. But for everyone else, all the rest of the community who comes out, watches us every month, hangs out in our Discord, we want to be able to give something back to you. So that's where community nights and the raffle's going to come in. I think the raffle's kind of the most fair way to do that. So we'll, I think I have a way to do that. We'll probably be trying that out in the next couple weeks after the holiday. Not really sure what it looks like yet. And Midland Claus has dropped in with the 5 gifted subs. Thank you, Midland Claus.
Yes, thank you. Oh, no, I get to say it. I get to say the line. From Atlantic to Pacific, gee, the traffic is terrific.
That was as bad as I was expecting.
I got to do the thing. Now I'm only wishing I'd saved it, knowing that we got to actually have our meet. But it was still worth it.
It was. I'm glad that happened. Alright, so, oh, yeah, there we go. We gotta stop here at Alarka Junction.
Which, talk about a perfectly timed meet.
Seriously. Alright, you got 1 car, half a car, 20 feet, still 20 feet. You're not pulling through a 73-pound. You are not pulling through that set.
One can think optimistically about these things.
20 feet, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's cool. Sorry, I'm watching the markers of the other train.
Yes, no, fully agree. That is cool.
Yeah. Alright. Hey,
This is also where I have to comment that it is really cool that I have an honest-to-goodness conductor on my train.
It is. It's nice. It's nice for this kinds of stuff. Usually, you have your mark. As an engineer on a passenger train, like you know about where to stop everything. But when you don't have those, you don't have those. There, I don't like how the grass is as tall as me.
Yeah, that can do with some. It's also growing sideways on this
Yeah,
hill.
cause like I feel like this should be like a perfect like road to do some foaming on and get a couple screenies. But I can't. Like the grass is as tall as me. I can't get any good pictures.
Uh, oh, our stop at Alarka Junction. Was that on time? Oh, you didn't
Oh,
call me out. You
w-
didn't call me out on it.
were you early?
Yeah, we departed 5 minutes early.
Oh, Nick. Okay, well, we're gonna
But
be.
you didn't call. You are the conductor.
I
I
am
am
the
just the
conductor.
humble. I'm just the humble engineer.
All right, fine. So I guess we're gonna end up holding down here for a bit.
Yes, which means I also don't need to be beating at the moment.
No, I have spent
Like,
all winter being aggressively focused on time.
yes, and so it's understandable that you come here, and even though we are talking about time, it is the thing that you are willing to be most lenient on. Although, well, actually, only thing I'm not sure about with your timetable, you say a 9:09 time for Alarka Junction and then 9:10 for Hemingway, which seems a bit
Um, yeah, that was
tight.
before Alarka Junction had a passenger stop. So I'm realizing now,
Uh,
like, we're gonna have timetable 2 coming out.
because now it's actually like, okay, um, we might not be, yeah, we're a few minutes ahead, but it's not too bad.
No, but we're gonna sit here and wait for a bit.
I could just crawl at like 5 miles an hour or something ridiculous to our station stop.
You could. That was one thing I got really good at this winter was power braking. If you put the engine right up at the signal, it should spot it perfectly.
Good to know.
Was being able to come into the station aggressively. Um, I come into a 15 mile an hour restriction or a 10 mile an hour restriction, then a 5 mile an hour restriction aggressively. And at the last minute, just kind of grab the brakes and power brake down to that 5, kick them off, then come back on with another small set.
A for practice.
Yeah, it was nice to like get to work on that a bit.
All right. So now we actually can wait.
Now we have to
We are
wait.
we are ahead.
We're only 3
Which
minutes
did we?
ahead. That's not terrible.
No, that's honestly in some of these station stops. It's amazing how quickly these people are getting on and off. Like they
Hmm.
are just. It's almost like we have ejector seats and we're just shooting them out the windows, and then the new people are coming in through the stairs.
They unload a lot faster than I remember. Maybe that's the difference between the public build and the old playtester build. That's it's just the discrepancy between the two. I don't know.
Lawn hauler. I just got this game today. Is it possible to hire crew to run multi-stop pasture runs? Not
No,
until that mod gets fixed.
or until we figure out what was breaking that mod.
Right. Because in your vanilla game, no. The AI just goes, you have to set flares or switches against it or
Hmm.
jump on board to get it to do its pasture stops. Bastion says, I've been meaning to tell and the gang, have you guys heard the music of Don Bilston? He was a railway folk singer who drove for BR for 40 years until the end of Steam in 1968. Wonderful haunting folk songs. I have not heard of Don Bilston.
So check that out.
Mm-hmm. His album Farewell to Steam is on YouTube and copyright safe. I know what I'll be route building to in Train Z next.
Next month.
Well, no. I could do that, but I was actually just thinking in terms of
Oh, just in
uh,
general.
yeah, just yes, off stream.
So we were talking about having marks earlier, and not of the heist variety, um, of the stopping variety. And I
I
said it.
missed
I
mine.
said it. Yeah, you did, by a little more than half the car. Um, but marks are what you rely on to be able to hit your spots and know you're in the correct place. You missed yours. I've
But I didn't hit the platform.
you, well, yeah,
I
the
mean,
vestibule's off the platform, but I feel like these
yeah,
platforms should be a little bit longer than what they are. They should maybe cover a whole coach, give you a little bit more freedom there instead of being 2 humans tall. Eyeball. That was one thing that was nice this winter is I ended up working with one conductor a lot, and we have this signal. We have a dwarf signal protecting a crossing. Cause the in the middle of the approach circuit for the crossing is the runaround. But the runaround ends before the island circuit. So when you come into the station, um, the uh, the approach circuit turns off. Um, and when you run around, and as you're running around, you don't trigger the approach circuit. Um, now no need to hustle, Nick.
well,
Some
might
hustle,
as
not too much
yes.
hustle. Appropriate amount of hustle. So when you run around, you don't trigger the approach circuit, so the gates don't come down. When you back onto your train, you need to hit a button that activates the approach circuit. So the train I was on all winter had a meet in the station before it could depart. So a train came in on the siding. The conductor would tell me, "Hey, you have blanket permission to depart when I get this jack signal to activate the approach circuit." So for the entirety of the Christmas season, I had permission to depart on signal indication from this crossing, from our main station. And as soon as the other train cleared off the circuit and the signal went from red to yellow, um, we can't use green for whatever reason, I would whistle off and go. And I tell you what a joy it is to be able to just highball out as soon as a light changes is a great feeling.
Efficiency.
Yes, it is. Sorry, the the boulder cold is killing me right now.
No, you're good. I am starting to grow a little concerned on two counts. Number one, I'm hitting a yellow. Number two, we're supposed to make our next station stop and be out of Bryson by 9:16. However, that's also not necessarily accounting for a fuel stop.
Now we're good.
Okay.
If we need it, we can take it in Whittier. But I think
You're saying we're good for fuel. Okay.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, I mean, we're good on coal.
yeah.
And even water. Yeah, you're right. We can make it to Whittier.
If we need water, we're definitely good on coal. Icer in the console chat up here. Always great working with the train conductor. They're ready to take one for the I just saw that one now. Any good seats over here? Someone make a mod to make the seats better, sitting down wise. Move everything closer to the windows.
I, this is making me think of tonight on Top Gear. Nick misses his marks. And Casey tries to look for a seat.
Speaking of marks, earmark for this next stop, there's going to be a lamp just past the freight dock. Put your cab, put the center of your cab, put that lamppost in the center of your cab.
Lamppost in the center of the cab. Okay. I can try. This is one of my favorite bridges up here.
Yeah, this is a very scenic. This is why I like going to Alarco. It's one of the most scenic portions of the railroad.
Yes. Ah, if only we had a mastodon in this game. And the Alarca branch would be complete.
It really would. Have you been up there since the redesign of it?
I remember the loop. I don't think I've been up there since
The
post loop.
Post loop. Oh, it is so much. It has that Abington branch feel in a whole new way post loop. Especially when you get up there.
That could be nice.
Well,
I'm getting
next time. Well,
I think the universe is telling me I need to do something Abington related. I picked up a copy of Model Railroader that has an Ian Rice track plan based on the Abington branch. So Ian Rice plus Abington branch is win. So it's speaking to me. I think I'm gonna have to do something about that. Speaking to me quality of it. I like Clenardo's comment about instructions on clear cab deck impaled. Yeah, I like the idea. So basically, yes, if I don't quite make it to where you want me to stop, Casey, I'll just cut down the pole and ram it through the cab wherever I've stopped.
Yeah, that works perfect. And we're getting close to those Jeeps. I can feel it.
Yes. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh, Lord.
Oh, God, yeah.
And welcome to the Kodachrome slideshow portion of tonight's live stream.
I do have the engine selected if you need me to take over.
I'm functional.
I am getting slightly better frames because I am looking away from everything out the windows.
Oh, that's one way to do it, yes. It's like the Ark of the Covenant. You have to look away from it. You can't see it in all its glory or your face will melt, or your graphics card will melt. Podcast about engineering with slides. Welcome to the Jeep Zone. I like these. I cannot hear myself think at the moment.
I just don't want to know.
Yeah, you might need to adjust that schedule a little bit because we had a perfect run between those 2 points, and I'm 2 minutes down.
Yeah.
I like how you're giving me, you have to hit this perfect mark, and your frame rates are going to suck.
Well,
good luck.
Yeah, good luck, actually.
That's not a stop. I, I, I'm I'm moving. Don't worry. I was thinking, could somebody turn off that awful bell? And then it's like, oh wait, that's my awful bell.
You know that's your. Hi, it's you. You're the problem.
It's me. Thank you, Taylor. How about them apples?
It's a beautiful stop.
Thank you. Nick's voice. Oh, Bastion's Lair. Also, I completely forgot I clocked your voice. I've been listening to the podcast for years. You were the first U.S. rail podcast I ever subscribed to. The first ever was Model Rail Radio back in the day. Well, thank you, Bastions. Appreciate you listening to the Roundhouse. Just put out a new episode today. I got the opportunity to
All right.
interview.
You want to take a?
We're good?
Oh no, we're boarding people. You want to swap?
Yep, sure. So today's episode, I interviewed Angela Trotta Thomas, who is a very gifted and skilled artist who primarily does painting, and a huge body of her work is Lionel commissions. So she does paintings that are commissioned by Lionel. So that was a very interesting conversation about art and trains. So even if you aren't obsessed with trains, which if you aren't, I don't know what you're doing here, but I enjoyed having that conversation. So you can check that out at theroundhousepodcast.com. Now we bring you back to your regularly scheduled run to Alarco. Or Silva. Different name ending with an A.
Yeah. Let's
Now-
get us out of this portion of the map as quick as possible.
Please. We are now. I'm the conductor now, which means I can say that we are 4 minutes down.
We got this.
Oh, the baggage car is empty again. That's good.
The baggage car's a baggage car.
Yes. But it was always meant to be. I actually have one of these in brass. I do like it as a model. Yes, McKeeb 458. I do encourage you to check out the Roundhouse. It's been a love of mine for the past coming up on 9 years.
Wow.
And we have some great conversations. I've had the pleasure of talking to everybody from Strasbourg President Lynn Modinger to wow, I'm jumping all over the place inside this car. To Norfolk Southern CEO Wick Mormon, and Rapido Trains President Jason Schramm. Number of good conversations. So, if you want to be in, we're up to 139 episodes. So you will be entertained for a long time. This is neat being a passenger. Oh, I found an actual seat. But I can't lean my head out of the window.
Yeah, but like the seat hitboxes shouldn't be like in the middle of the seat.
No, it should be so that you can lean your head out the window.
Yeah, like yeah, it's in a weird spot.
And also, I just jumped again. But it is giving me flashbacks to riding East Broad Top this summer and looking at the coach in front of me. There is a cool feeling about that.
Right?
The thing that I really want with these models is for more of the seats to be reversed, because they all face the same way.
It's weird.
I feel like our fellow railroaders have been avoiding us because we've only met with one train, and it was an AI train.
Yeah, I think all of the trains are currently backlogged in Bryson.
Oh, is that why we ran into the FDS
Everything.
Express and understandable? Let's see. So looks like we have our stop in Ayla coming up, and according to my timetable in that window, 9:27. Tight, but possibly doable. Yeah, Bryson was looking. Agreed. It was looking pretty crowded back there.
And this is where knowing how fast you can go comes in handy.
Oh yeah, I just looked at how fast we are going. That is a good clip. So, and question for our audience: have you partaken in any particular holiday train festivities? Anything you're looking forward to doing that you haven't yet done? I will say, for my money, I set my train up around the tree. That's been my railroading this holiday season. But if those of you, have you too been on a trolley where you sung with Santa, or had your fill of hot chocolate, or uh, eggnog? Oh, I was so happy this year. I got a bottle of organic eggnog.
Ooh.
I didn't think it was a thing, but I got a bottle of organic eggnog. I was very happy about that. Acela 2163 got to see the holiday train in Chicago. I'd love to see that someday. I'm guessing you're talking about the CP one, which I'd love to see. Sorry, CPKC. Oh, there's a real human being and a real hero. That was cool. Oh, CTA holiday train. Okay, thank you for the correction. What I really want to do, and it won't happen this year, I don't think, but would be really great if I could make it happen next year, is oh, New York City. The historic cars that they run only in winter, well, or special occasions. The low voltage subway cars. Have you heard of this, Casey?
I have.
Yeah. Have you seen them?
I never have. I don't take that
Oh.
line.
Yeah, I know they only run them on specific lines typically when they do.
How was that for a mark?
Um,
Aw. So close to perfect.
yeah, very, very close. I'm not going to knock it because I've been farther off. Okay, clear to depart, Ayla.
Here we go.
I really should have given that a full. Oh, board. The seller says our transit operator has a specialty or specially decorated train that they bring out every December, complete with Santa sleigh on an old MOW flat card. I'm gonna Google this. Because that does sound very cool.
I feel like some times got transposed here and are incorrect. Because how am I supposed to depart Whittier at 9:40?
That's what I mean. Like you arrived at Ayla. I mean, you had to speed to get to Ayla, and you were still 2 minutes down. But Whittier, you're going to be early for.
Yeah, I
But
know.
that works.
That works.
Actually, Whittier's probably a good. Uh,
You could send the train off from Whittier.
yes. Oh, I'm looking at that flat card. That is nicely done. That is very cool on the CTA's part.
MK wants to know if there's an agreement on how to pronounce Ayla.
Just how she said it.
Ayla. It is the correct Cherokee pronunciation for the name.
Yes. So you can tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell Randy Gonzalez that you heard it here. It is Ayla. That is not us making it up. That is how it is supposed to. Yes. Eli.
LA.
Eli. Eli. Yes. Ella. Which I used to make the joke about how the way to remember it was by Rihanna. You bring out your umbrella, Ella, at Ella, or Ella. You brought out your umbrella, Ella, at Ella, AA. That wasn't confusing at all.
No, not at all.
Oh man, looking at the window at the river, that is a trip.
It's cool. Like sometimes you have like these wonderful not at like the game sometimes has these wonderful, really immersive moments like that.
I wish, yeah, hopefully as it continues to develop, it becomes more cohesive to that, because it's like you have these certain zen moments where it's like, this is exactly what I want, and then there's something that makes you go, ugh, and now I'm back thinking about the game.
hmm I'm excited to see how it develops and grows, um, and just like where they take it, and hopefully they fix a lot of things.
Yep. Yeah, say la. Sounds like the Appalachian way to pronounce it. The Native American roots make much more sense. Bastions went on a Polar Express with the little siblings, 5 of them behind. GOWR Castle Class 5043, Earl of Mount Edgecombe, and a lovely Pullman set. I've seen that Polar Express. I love that there is a Great Western Railway locomotive with a headlight. I love that that is a thing. It is so awesome to me. I think if you search Great Western Polar Express, you'll see it. No, it's giving me other results.
It's beautifully cursed.
Western. I'm getting Western Maryland results. Okay, so take. Oh, it's okay. Search Great Western Railway Polar Express on Google, and the third result, which is a black and white image, is the British. Oh, it also has a cow catcher. So you've got a British GWR 7800 class with a headlight and a cow catcher. Oh, and now that I've searched this, so there's the South Devon Railway, which has a different cow catcher and headlight setup, and then there's I love this, a 5500 class tank engine with a cow catcher and a headlight and a bell. And it even has a number board that says 1225. That is awesome. And now we're coming up on Whittier.
We are. Now I'm gonna dump the reverser in the corner, and all of our speed's just gonna go away because that's programmed wrong.
Why do you, Royal Chair Force. Those poor castles. Why do you say those poor castles? That is so wonderfully awesome. Oh, I made Pancake Palace pancakes last weekend.
How were they?
They were good. They were nice and fluffy. Go to pancakepalace.net and you too can make Pancake Palace pancakes. Seriously, go to pancakepalace.net and you'll see the Pancake Palace recipe. It is a thing that one of our very devoted crew members put together. Because there is no such thing as a joke taken too far. Anywhere in there is good there. Although actually I'm realizing we'll probably have to back up so you can... Oh yeah, that's what you were trying to do.
I don't think we'll need water.
Oh?
We still have 4,000 gallons.
Oh yeah, we'll make it. You're right.
I say we get these people on. We send everything off with a nice speedy bang here out of the sawmill, or out of Whittier, and I think we call it there.
Sounds good.
Plus, it is bewitching hour.
Yep, a lot of westbound passengers. A lot of westbound passengers. Okay, ready to... Oh, no, not yet. Okay, all aboard!
I'll even use the cylinder cock just for the effect of it now.
Oh, that was so worth it. Oh, I found a seat that has a... I could stick my head out the window. That's a good thing.
Ah, there we go. Well, this is
I should have actually called it because we did depart that station 3 minutes early.
that's fine. Well,
That was on me this time.
that's fine. I think we're gonna wrap up here. So thank you everyone for joining, for revisiting passenger trains. I have a mostly doable timetable now. It still has some kinks to work out, but it's mostly possible. Hopefully you got a little bit of something out of this. We made up time, we lost time, and somehow we were ridiculously late and early all at the same time. As always, I'm Professor Casey.
And I'm Professor Nick.
Thank you all so much for watching. Have a good night.
Good night. Happy holidays.